Now it's time to have a look at solving quadratic equations with just one type of x. That is something that looks like this. Now in fact you might actually find this a little bit easier, so let's check it out.
So these types of worked examples are slightly different to the ones that you've just been watching, and this is why. When you go through stage 1, it says how many types of x are there. Is there an x squared only or an x squared and an x? Let's have a look at this. We actually only have the x squared, so that means we've only got the one type of x. Now you could still go through and factorise this using two terms, but what I recommend you do is you just use BODMAS to solve it. Alright, so what's the first thing happening to the x? Well, you've got the x being squared, and then the next thing is subtract 25. And the opposites now of minus 25 are plus 25, and the opposite of x squared is square root of x. So let's go through and do that. We're going to add 25 to both sides. That's going to cancel out, leaving us with x squared is equal to 25. And then what we're going to do when we follow the magic arrow that's going up is we're going to square root the x. So square root both sides here now, and you're going to get these two things cancelling out, leaving us with x is equal to plus or minus 5, because whenever we square root we need to also include the positive and the negative. Alright, for part B now, what's happening to the x first? Well, it's saying x squared because there's other first, then it's being multiplied by 6. The opposites now are divide by 6 and square root x. Do the magic arrow and you get divide by 6 first, so you get the 6's here cancelling out, and when we divide by 6 here you get x squared is equal to 9. Alright, square root both sides now, and what you end up getting is the square root and the square cancelling out, leaving us with x is equal to plus or minus 3, because the square root of 9 can be either positive 3 or negative 3. Right, what I want you to do now is press pause and attempt the following question, that is 4x squared minus 25. Once you've finished, make sure you press play and check your answers out against mine. Alright, so first thing before we do anything is to figure out what's happening to the x. Very first thing is it's being squared. The next thing is it's being multiplied by 4, and then it's had 25 subtracted away from it. Write the opposites now, so you get plus 25, divide by 4, and square root of x, with the magic arrow going up. Right, so first step now is to add 25 to both sides. These of course are going to cancel out, leaving us with 4x squared is equal to 25. Divide both sides by 4 now, gets us the 4's cancelling out, and the x squared is equal to 25 over 4. Now what we need to do is square root both sides. The square and the square root is going to cancel out, and that's going to leave us with positive or negative root 25 on 4. Now another way of writing that is actually the same as saying root 25 divided by root 4, and of course I can square root 25 and I can square root 4, so it'll end up leaving me with positive or negative 5 on 2.
Hey man.
Hey, how you going?
Good. Just bought a new picture frame actually.
Oh really? What? You mean this tiny little thing up here?
Yeah.
Well, how big is it really?
Well, I can't really remember, but I know its height is 5 centimeters longer than its base.
Yeah.
It has an area of 18 square centimeters.
Mate, that makes no sense. Stop talking to me in riddles. Just tell me a real answer.
Alright, so we're going to have a look at how to solve quadratic equations when given a worded problem. But in order to do that, what you need to know is these 6 steps. And we'll work through these with the problem that you can see below. That is, the height of a triangle is 5 centimeters more than its base. If the area of the triangle is 18 centimeters squared, find the base length and its height. So like always when working with worded problems, what you need to do is go through and highlight the key information of the question. So it says the height of the triangle is 5 centimeters more than its base. If the area of the triangle is 18 centimeters squared, find the base length and its height. And we'll just highlight what we're looking for in another colour, so find the base length and its height. Alright, so I've gone through and highlighted all the key information now. What I recommend you do is that you draw a diagram. So as we know, I've got a triangle, where this here is its base, and this here is its height. Now I know the height of the triangle is 5 centimeters more than its base. So I know that this length here is going to be 5 centimeters more than its base. So for example, if this base here was 10, the height would be 15. And I know that the area is 18 centimeters squared. So I know that area equals 18 centimeters squared. Okay, so let's just think about the variables that we're going to have. Now let's just call the base x, for example. Alright, so any lengths are always going to be based on x. And let's call our area a. Okay, so step 4 says write down the information using mathematical terminology. So we've got a whole lot of stuff here. What we're going to do is go through and write this down using mathematical terminology. So I know my base is equal to x. Now if my base is equal to x, that means my height is 5 centimeters more than the base. So my height is equal to x plus 5. And my area, being A, is equal to 18. Now step 5 says draw upon any other mathematical knowledge that we have. Well, we know that the area for a triangle is equal to half times base times height. Alright, so let's use that information now. We know that area is equal to half times base times height. Therefore, area being A is equal to half times base, now our base we called x, times height, now our height we called x plus 5. And of course we know that our area that it says in the question is equal to 18 centimeters squared that you can see up here. So instead of writing A, what we can do is we can write 18 in brackets is equal to 1/2 x times x plus 5. Now the next step to do is go through and basically solve for x. Now in order to do that, let's first of all get rid of the fraction because I hate fractions, I think they look ugly. So we go and multiply everything by 2. So let's multiply this by 2 and this by 2. That's going to get us 36 is equal to, the 2's here will cancel out, leaving us with just 1. Now we don't need to have that, so we're just going to have bracket x and x plus 5. Let's go through and expand the brackets now. So you're going to get 36 is equal to x squared plus 5x. And now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 36 from both sides in order to get it all equal to 0. So you get 0 is equal to x squared plus 5x minus 36. Now of course what we're trying to do is solve for x. And whenever we're solving for x we need to see how many types of x we've got. Well, we've got x squared and an x, so therefore we've got 2 types of x, which means we must factorise. So if we're factorising, have we got any common factors? No, we haven't. And how many terms have we got? Well, we've got 3. Now when we look at this, is there an a value out the front of the x squared? No, there's not. So that means what we need to do is we need to look for the factors of negative 36 that'll add to 5. So what are the factors of negative 36? Well, you got maybe negative 9 and 4. Well, let's have a think about it. Does negative 9 plus 4 equal positive 5? No, it doesn't. Alright, let's try maybe 9 and negative 4. So does 9 minus 4 equal positive 5? Yes, it does. So what we're going to write here now is 0 is equal to x plus 9 and x minus 4. Alright, so now what we need to do is make what's inside each bracket equal to 0, so you get x plus 9 equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. Subtract 9 from both sides, subtract 9, cancels out, gets us x is equal to negative 9. Add 4 to both sides and add 4, gets us x is equal to 4. Now if we use our noggins for a second, what we need to recognise is that you cannot have a base length of negative 9. So therefore the only length that I can have is x is equal to 4 for its base length. So that means here that this here is equal to 4 centimeters. Now of course if base is equal to 4 centimeters, the height is equal to the base length plus 5. So that means height is equal to x plus 5, which therefore height is equal to 4 plus 5, which is equal to 9. So height is equal to 9 centimeters. So if you use these steps that I've outlined above here, what you can do is you can make a very difficult question seem a lot easier if you go through step by step.
Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning into today's lesson, which was all about how to solve quadratic equations using the null factor rule. Now make sure you stay tuned for the